A while ago, I got an Android smartwatch, specifically the Moto 360, and today I want to review it because I feel that I've used it enough to do a proper review on it. This video will also contain a review on the Apple Watch. It takes about 2 hours to fully charge the Moto 360, and it lasts about 10 to 12 hours depending on how many notifications you get. One feature that I absolutely love on this watch is its customizability. You can change so much. For example, I can change the watch face to suit any kind of mood that I am in by just simply going to this website called facerepo.com, which just has an abundance of watch faces, and you can just download them and put them on your watch with the help of an application called Facer or another one called Watchmaker. The watch is actually really durable. I know I've accidentally smacked the front of my watch on like a table or a corner of something, and it is perfectly fine. However, what is really strange is that somehow I cracked the back of my watch, and I don't actually know how. It's just a small kind of crack, and it doesn't hinder the performance of the watch in any way. It's just I actually have no idea how that happened. The watch is actually quite useful as a notification panel for all those notifications you get on your phone, and it can also be very useful to track your fitness as long as you use it in combination with a fitness app like Endomondo or something like that. The watch actually has very few apps that run directly on the watch. Most of the time the applications will run on your phone and they'll use your watch as a secondary screen, or in cases like apps like Endomondo, they'll use your watch's sensors in order to get more data. The only apps that really run directly on the watch is music, because you can actually put some of your music on your watch and you can use some Bluetooth headphones to connect to your watch so you can go like running or something without actually having to take your phone, and that's kind of super convenient. The other applications are like calendars, so you can see all of your Google Calendar events, as well as the basics like stopwatch, timer, alarm clock, the clock application. There is a flashlight application that runs on there, but basically all it does is makes your screen super bright and also makes the screen white so you can kind of see in the dark, but it's really not the greatest flashlight. And that's pretty much it that really runs directly on the watch. Oh, I almost forgot, there's also this application called MotoBody, which does run directly on your watch, and basically what it is a fitness kind of tracking application where it tracks your heart rate, it tracks how many steps you do, and all that kind of fun stuff. And once a week it will actually email your email account and just give you a summary of what you've done over the week. And that's actually really cool. But what also is really great at kind of trying to keep you active is that it will notice that maybe you've done 3,000 steps every single day, and it will offer to increase them to maybe 4,000 steps, so that each day you can try to hit 4,000 steps, because every once in a while your watch will remind you only so many steps remaining until you reach your goal. One feature I honestly thought I was going to use more than I actually do is the ability to change songs using your watch. So basically your phone is playing music and you can use your watch to change the song, go back a song, or increase or decrease the volume. And I thought I was going to use that all the time. Like when I'm biking to work, I thought, hey, I can just skip the song. Well, I found it's actually super difficult to do while biking. The only way that it's actually doable is if you're fully stopped, or maybe if you're running, it might actually not be that bad to do. If you're thinking of buying the Moto 360 so you can drive and reply to text messages, do not do that, because that is a terrible idea. Yes, you can reply to text messages using voice dictation, but doing that while driving and trying to navigate your watch while driving, I found it to be extra distracting, and I only did it once, and I'm never actually going to do it again because it's dangerous and it's distracting, and it's probably worse than using your phone while driving, and you shouldn't do that, period. You should just not use any electronic while driving. All in all, the watch is really great. I do wish it had better battery life, but oh well. Based on my experiences with using the Moto 360, I don't think I'll actually buy another smartwatch because I haven't really found it to be that essential to my daily life. That basically covers the Moto 360 Android smartwatch review. Now for the Apple Watch review. I don't actually own an Apple Watch, but my friend Kyle does, so joining me live via satellite is my friend Kyle.
Hello Daniel and audience. I get to talk to you about the Apple Watch. The first thing that needs to be said about the Apple Watch, and this is going to sound weird, is to not look at it as an electronic device. Yes, that is what it is, but really, first and foremost, this is a jewelry product. This is made to accessorize yourself. There's 3 different types of Apple Watch that you can go and get. There is the one just called Apple Watch, there's the Apple Watch Sport, and then there's the Apple Watch Edition. Those are going to vary in price point from a few $100s all the way up to over $20,000, but it really depends on what type of statement you want to make. Now I went with the Apple Watch, which is kind of the middle of those 3 different types I just said. This gives me a stainless steel enclosure as well as a tougher glass on the outside. According to Apple's website, to go from 0% to 100% would take about 2.5 hours, although I've never waited for my watch to get down to 0%. Now, from my own experience, I could probably get 2 full days out of my Apple Watch before having to recharge it, although I usually just put it there at the end of every night, but usually I'm at about 60%. At the end of the day. Currently, you do need to have an iPhone in order for the Apple Watch to work, which does exclude quite a few people. Thankfully, my mother included, so she doesn't have to phone me when she runs into issues. However, I think that this will not always be the case. Just like the first couple of iPods were made to be Mac only, I think the Apple Watch will eventually be made to include everybody. Now, the usefulness of the Apple Watch is going to be dependent on what you want to use it for. This is essentially going to be an extension of your iPhone. So in that case, what I found for my own usage is that I've started to look at my phone less. I can just very quickly glance at my wrist to see if is this an important message that just came in? Is this something I need to respond to? The Apple Watch and really any type of wearable technology is really designed for quick glances and not to be head down using it for long periods of time, and that is no exception for the Apple Watch. While it doesn't allow you to type out text messages, being able to talk to your device and have it transcribe messages for you has been really valuable for me. I've also been able to answer a few phone calls using my Apple Watch and have had pretty good success as long as you're not in a really noisy area where it's essentially useless. Perhaps not as useless as my own nipples, but I mean, kind of the same. For me, it's all about my health. To be able to very quickly see how many calories I've burned, how many steps I've walked, how many kilometers I've ran, how many steps I've gone up is really useful information for me to see how I'm progressing. And it comes with some handy watch-only apps like the weather, clock, timer, and stopwatch. But like I was saying at the very beginning, this is really more of a fashion statement. This is why I've had multiple different colored wrist straps that I've gotten for my watch. Really, when it comes down to it, any type of this wearable technology that we have is something that I'm more excited about what it's going to bring in the future than what it's bringing currently. One of those things that really excites me is this idea of research kit, where doctors can, with your permission, grab data from you to see things that they could improve upon. So if they wanted to know how are adult males over 30 doing with this particular drug, if you've said yes, I want to give that information over, boom, they can grab a lot of data really quickly without having to go through the pain of being like, who wants to be a part of our research team? Who wants to come in for trials? Let's do this over a few months. They can grab that data in seconds. Or that's just my pie in the sky thinking, and we're soon going to be overrun by the Skynet of Apple. But at least the robots will look pretty. Thank you so much, Daniel. Let's go back to you.
Thank you, Kyle, for all of that information. Kyle also makes videos on YouTube. You should totally check out his videos because they are really awesome. I will link to his channel below in the description, as well as with the fancy YouTube card thing. Now that you have all of the information, let me know in the comments below which watch you think is better. Is it the Apple Watch or the Moto 360 Android smartwatch? And that basically sums up this video. Thank you for watching, thank you to Kyle who helped me with this video, and I will see all of you next week. Don't forget to have an epically awesome day. Bye!